So starting over with you, Mr. Dan Odida. ASMAC was formed to give miners a voice. Can you tell us more about the organization and what your mandate is?
Thank you, Candice, to all viewers and attendees. Thanks to the CS, thanks to the PS, all protocols observed. I want to start by saying I'm Dan Odida, the National Chair of Artisanal and Small-Scale Miners Association of Kenya, an association that was formed over 3 years ago with the sole mandate of bringing together the artisanal and small-scale miners under one platform where they can resonate their voice and also communicate their issues to everyone concerned, the participants, the regulator, all industry players, so that their issues are well understood, well communicated, and well addressed. The other aspect of objective for ASMAC is to resonate the issues that artisanal and small-scale miners undergo in the country. Of course, from the discussions that we've had, it is evident that artisanal and small-scale mining in Kenya is undergoing a number of issues that needs to be addressed. So advocacy is part of the objective of the formation, and also we are looking forward to ensuring that the artisanal and small-scale mining sector is adequately represented in the decision-making table, so that we ensure that their structures that are already established are taken into account, especially when we touch ground for investments and any other thing that pertains to the progress and the development of the sector. And that's why the artisanal and small-scale miners sector in Kenya has a slogan of nothing about us without us, meaning if we have to do anything that touches on their development, their livelihood, then we have to involve them, we have to recognize them, we have to embrace their structures that already exist. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. And for context on the crowd, according to a 2018 study, we have approximately 30,000 individuals that are working in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector in the gemstone sector, and around 140,000 men and women working directly in the gold sector specifically. And so the socioeconomic potential of this sector is huge, hence why discussions like this are very important and why licensing needs to move forward. Moving over to my colleague, Natasha. Can you tell us a bit more about the work that you do at the Impact Facility, especially with regard to the lease to purchase program for providing mining equipment to artisanal and small-scale miners in Kenya and Tanzania?
Thank you, Candice. As she's mentioned, I'm a mining engineer working for the Impact Facility, and I want to tell you a little bit more about our leasing program. So it started in 2021. We have blended financing, so we have grant financing from the European Partnership for Responsible Minerals, which is the EPRM, and GenM, and we have a private investor. He's more social and impact focused. So how our leasing program works, essentially we will conduct a basic KYC and due diligence on the miner. We will then onboard them into our system, and we will present a profile to our investment committee. Once the profile has been approved, and the criteria for approving the profile is based off their performance on ESG frameworks. So we have an impact escalator that is aligned with Craft Code, Fairmine, and Fairtrade. So once this is done, we roll out the lease. Some of our terms in our leasing program, our interest rates are currently at 16% per annum. We offer grace periods of up to 3 months. Sometimes, depending on the mine equipment, we could go as high as 4 months. We also offer payment breaks. As I've mentioned, I'm a mining engineer. We are skilled, we understand the mining world, so we offer unpaid payment breaks to cater for the low seasons during mining, and paid payment breaks to cater to operational risks. One of the success, if I could answer on that, that we have seen on our program, we have a repeat client who has now completed, I think, their third contract. And as my colleague had mentioned, we have invested so far $178,000 US. And from what I have seen, when miners have the right incentive, when they have the proper support, because we cannot do this by ourselves, we do this with the help of other actors in the industries like Solidaridad, like MESC, the county government. They have the right incentive, and we have already witnessed them adopting ESG practices. We have seen them value up their mining operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. Moving over to my colleague, Norbert Massey from Pact/Moyo Gems. Can you tell us a bit more about Pact and how you are facilitating market access to artisanal and small-scale gemstone miners in the country?
Yeah, thank you so much, Candice. Yeah, so from Pact, we say building local solutions. So we work with mining communities and support them to build the solutions out of the challenges. So we work with the ASM associations. In Kenya, we work with AWEC, and in Tanzania, we work with TAWAMA, Women Miners Association. So one of the biggest challenge that they had was access to markets. Whenever we do the programs in the communities, they will say, our stones are lost. When the brokers take our stones, they don't bring money back to us. They will say that when we sold them, we didn't get anything, or we used the money for the fair. So we had to look into the solutions on how these people could get the access to market directly. So it's when we established Moyo Market. So Moyo Market started in Tanzania, where we will bring the international buyers into the formal markets that were established by the government, and this was happening in Tanga. So after that was successful, then we copied it in Kenya. So in Kenya, we started in Taita Taveta, where we were doing our markets in Voi Gemstone Center, in Mwatate, and Kasigau. So we went very close to the miners in the communities. So when we reached there, women started selling their stones, and they raised their income 5 times to 10 times, and they were happy because they were paid directly while they are there in their communities. That's how we established the Moyo Gems. Thanks.
Thank you so much. It seems like the consensus, at least from today and some of the sessions that we have seen, including what my panelists have been saying today, is that, once the issue of licensing, that bottleneck has been fixed, the next thing that miners can get to for them to, trade formally in the formal market is they can easily access financing through local solutions like the Impact Facility or local banks like KCB who are looking to finance the sector. The second thing is access to technology, right? The innovative technology that is needed to increase their production and the efficiency of their operations to produce more gold. With the additional income, they're able to reinvest back to their mines and improve their operational health and safety. And then they can gear towards not only selling locally, but also selling internationally, given that they are able to fit, ESG criteria that are, looked at internationally. And so my closing statement is that once we solve licensing, just like what our peers in Tanzania have done, all these other tick boxes will easily come through, right? And so I highly encourage, the leaders that we have today on the table to facilitate the licensing regime in the country so that our miners can profit from the sector. We only had 10 minutes, but that was it for today. If you have any questions to any of my panelists on any of the programs that we are working with, please come through and ask questions and let us learn from each other. Thank you so much.